Hi, my name is Tega Omogor and I'm a recovery coach and a substance use counselor. This you're about to watch is my Abuja workout story. I went from active addiction to being a recovery coach right now in the same city. I'd like for you to know that you may think you're having fun. In the midst of thinking you're having fun, remember that there's a thin line between having so much fun and then losing your way completely. Watch this and be inspired.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's another exciting edition of Abuja Waka with your girl Prodigy. So amazingly today on Abuja Waka, I will bring to you a story of somebody who you would really love. She is an amazing person. She is a visionary person. She is a woman who is interested in the next generation, and she's also interested in behavioral change. She's not the person that Tega Omogor. Hello, ma'am.
It's good to have me here.
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here. I must say, you look good. I love your hair.
Thank you. I've been looking at your makeup since.
Oh, wow.
I'm thinking, should I just capture you and then you show me how you did your eyebrows?
Mm.
I'm not touching making eyebrows anyway.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, like you said, my name is Tega Omogor. I'm a teens coach. I'm a substance use counselor. I do quite a number of things, but basically the basis of all of what I do is helping the next generation be the best that it can be, because I know definitely that if I had me now when I was younger, if I had someone like me now when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have made all the mistakes that I made. So I'm trying to be the person that I needed when I was that age.
So you're like standing in for the younger generation.
Would I say standing in? Sort of, but it's more or less like helping them understand that as much as we're trying to have fun,
Right.
there is a thin line between having too much fun and losing track of your life.
True.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to tell us when you got into Abuja?
My sister moved here, I think 99. So I had come on and off 1999. I'd come into Abuja on and off since then, just come on holiday, go back, come visit, go back. But I moved here more permanently 2005. Yes, I remember because my niece was born that year and I just moved from Kano and came to Abuja. So this is, Netta is going to be 16 this year. So this is my 16th year in Abuja. I'm here for a while. I'm supposed to be a landlord.
Okay, so for the past 16 years, how has it been for you here in Abuja?
Abuja has changed quite a lot. Abuja has changed quite a lot. I remember being able to walk on the streets and you can count the number of cars on the road. But right now we even have traffic, almost like Lagos people have moved in here. And now Abuja has changed. No, I mean, I grew up in Lagos, amazing. But I'm saying that Abuja has changed quite a bit. It's changed, it's grown. I'm sure we didn't envisage this crowd, but Abuja's grown. So
I went through your profile and then I realized that you are a certified mental health counselor, ADA, so many certified, right? So I'd like you to tell us about that.
I did all of those things. I didn't decide that that's what I wanted to do. Growing up, I wanted to be a lawyer. And because of all of the things that, partying, substance use and all those things, I missed my way quite a bit. So I lost 13 years of my life because of, that's why I said there is a thin line between having so much fun and then losing track of your life completely, because time passes. In one moment, you'll be thinking, oh, I have time. And then one day you just wake up and find out, oh my God, where did all the time go? I was one of those. I always felt, well, there's time to do stuff. And then one day I just woke up and found out, oh my God, 13 years has passed me.
She's gone.
So I started out wanting to be a lawyer, like I said, but after a bit, when I found where I had reached, I could have easily drowned. There's a place where you just say, let me just lie down here and die.
Yeah.
In fact, I started a podcast series very recently. In fact, the first one came out on the 1st of April. That was yesterday, where I started talking about allowing your pain be your gemstone. Your pain can actually propel you to actually be gold. So I stumbled into those things out of my pain, out of, let me not just die here. Let me talk to someone about what I have gone through, so you don't have to go through that. And so in trying to do that, I realized that I needed to get certifications in stuff. So I know that with drug use, because that's really my core, mental drug use and substance use, I found out, not knew, that when people are doing drug use or substances, it stems from deeper issues. So that's why I went into mental health, to understand why some people are going through some of the things they're doing, because drug or substance use is a form of escape. So they're trying to escape from something. So what are we escaping from? It has to be something, because if you're in your best state of mind, there's some things you won't do. So that's how I got into substance use and mental health. I had to go and find out, there's a difference between having experience and having expertise. You might want to help people because you have experience, but if you don't have expertise, it might hamper your job a bit, hinder your job a bit. So I needed to just know a bit deeper about stuff, so I got into.
Sure. I tend to have a feeling like this whole certification thing, the foundation, is born out of a passion, maybe coming from an experience you've had. So would you want to share with us that experience, if not in details, just touch a bit? So who knows, we might just be learning from something.
Okay. In the beginning, I said I wanted to be a lawyer. And because I got into partying and drinking and smoking and doing substances, I missed my way completely. Let me say I missed a lot of my way. I missed my way completely because I ended up dropping out of school. I went from being one of the best students in the States that I was as a child to, in fact, I remember recently when they wanted to do one debating, that time they used to do debates in primary school, primary school. If one of my teachers said if I wasn't on that team, that won't win. And so they needed to make sure I was there. I was really posing and thinking, yes, I have to be there. That's how intelligent I was. I was very academically gifted. In fact, my brother was telling me recently, I actually was on scholarship as well. Imagine going from all of that with such a bright future. Everyone thought that, this girl would do so fantastically well. Going from that to every day was a weekend for me. Every day was literally a weekend. I would stay in any bar or club or anywhere it is from dusk till dawn.
Wow.
And then I'll be sleeping the whole day, getting ready to go back again at dusk to come back and dawn. So when you start to do such things in such settings, like it or not, you will mix with any kind of person. And then before you know it, you get into all sorts of drug use, substance use, alcohol, sniffing stuff, smoking stuff. Of course, I couldn't keep up with school. And so I had to drop out of school. And the weird part about this is that nobody in my family knew for a long time that I was, keeping up appearances, because I still sounded like I knew what I was doing. I still sounded like I was still collecting money from home for school and all that. So I came out of that, and when I stopped doing all of those things, I realized that, so where do we go from here? This is where we have a lot of people have issues with when they come out of drug use. They either think they've wasted too much time doing drugs, and then they just tell themselves, you know what, this is all I know, let me stay here and die here. Or they come out and then they become depressed because they're thinking, where do I go from here? So it occurred to me that thankfully I had a religious setting. I became a Christian. I started attending Women Pray International. And then so in attending that, it gave me time to, introspect. I started realizing that I could do more with myself. There's more that I can do with myself. I'm out of this. Okay, then what? And then people have this problem. They come at me. My daughter has drug issues. My son has substance issues, and then you now look at them and tell them the Lord will do it. True, the Lord will do it, but where do they go from there? There's a part where you now hold the person by the hand and say, look, I've been here, I can help you. And so that's where Back to Life Foundation was born out of.
Okay.
Helping people get from that point to this point. I could have easily just told myself that, look, I beg, there's no point. Let me just look for one business or one job and do and just stay in the shadows and let nobody see me. I put myself out there. It's caused a lot of backlash for me, but hey, if you get feedback from people that have had success stories,
yeah, it's fulfilling.
Very fulfilling.
Okay.
This not my story.
Okay, so I've been an expert in the drug fields, like taking people off the street, the young people. So how would you describe Abuja, the use of drugs by young people? Have you had to encounter, where people come to you say, "I'm help my child does drugs," and how have you been able to help rescue these young people?
We have that quite a lot because if you check statistics, it actually says that one in, how many did he now say? Okay, like 14 million Nigerians are doing drugs. But I believe very much that the number is more than that, because the numbers they are using for that stat is for people that have been registered in a treatment facility. But there are loads and loads of people that don't get registered in a treatment facility. So who takes the record of those people? And there's a larger number as far as I'm concerned, because many parents don't want to deal with facility issues, so they would just rather look for someone that, just do this for me. One of the things that it's a concern for me is parents that just want to pay you to take the problem away. I don't care how much it is, just tell me how much. Let's just get this thing over with. And I don't want anybody to know about it. That's not the thing. We have quite a number of people doing drugs. It appears like Abuja has, free money. People think that, there's free money. And so their children have a lot of access to money. And these days, children have become extremely, extremely creative with substance use. So they even use stuff like fire extinguisher, the fumes from fire extinguisher, they sniff on it. A child will take a sharp object and scrap on wood, then burn it and smoke. There's a lot of stuff. We've heard of the Mentos and Lacasera one. You've heard of the lizard poop and all those things. So when people are able to do that, it shows that we have a larger problem in our hands than we know. And a lot of parents these days, like I stay in the Lokogoma axis, they say there are over 100 estates in this area. And in that area, it's mostly young couples that are there. So now, even though there's some people that bought the houses there before and all of that. So in that dense area, for instance, where father is working, why we have a lot of traffic in that area now is because father is working, mother is working. Everybody's trying to make ends meet. These days, nobody's depending on one income. If father is working and mother is working, in fact, father has 2 incomes, mother has 3, or mother has 10, or father has 20. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Everybody's trying to make more money. So in the bid to make more money, whether you know it or not, your attention is a bit divided. And then how do you now get to understand the things that your child is dealing with? If you talk to even lesson teachers and school teachers, their parents are not necessarily paying so much attention to their children's academics as much as they used to, because everybody's chasing after the paper. But I'm not saying we shouldn't chase after paper, because it's the paper that will give the child a good life.
Sure.
But at the same time, is there a way we can prioritize our time to be able to know when to catch up with this child and know the things that are going on with them? The drug use in Abuja is scary. Before, we used to think that we didn't have rehabilitation centers in Abuja. We have many. And they're always overbooked. Always overbooked. We have at least 10 that I know of. And these facilities, it's not as if they are 1 or 2 bed facilities. The least number is 10 bed facilities, and they are overbooked. So drug use is very prevalent in Abuja. It's actually very prevalent. I wish just more that the government can help us do. But of course, we can't leave everything to the government. That's why some of us decided that we're going to keep talking about these things and then finding ways to curb what we can curb. My own corner is mostly teaching life skills, because I've understood that in the taking out of boredom and making sure you channel that energy you're using for drugs, if you channel it into something more productive and you begin to see the productivity that you are creating, somehow you begin to find that you can do better. And in doing drug use, you see that it diminishes your creativity. There's a boy that I'm working with. There's something he said to me. He said, every time I have to do my coding, I don't use drugs because I know it will not allow me to do the drugs. And I said, that's it. So if you find that these drugs are actually diminishing your creativity and you need to be creative constantly, you will use less drugs. That's why I stayed on the path of teaching life skills and social skills, and then that is helping them quite a bit, because it also help you with your purpose. Early enough, you find your purpose, you stick to your purpose. It's easier to actually get through to where you're going to. Now, for you to just be laying about and thinking, I have time, I just want to just have time. Abuja is, because they say that in the north, the drug use is different from the choice of drugs is different from the choice of drugs in the south. And Abuja, as much as people want to say that it is not in the north, it's closer to the north. So the people, I was in Kano and then we moved to Abuja. The same, I know like 3/4 of my friends that lived in the north, in Kano or Zaria, are in Abuja right now. So it's the drug use in the north is crazy. It's really crazy. Not to say it's not everywhere, but it's quite dense in this area.
Okay, so I've heard people say that when I take this, it helps me read better.
Yeah.
When I take this, if I'm a producer, I can do the mix better.
Absolutely.
I can do this. So is that true that when they take this, it gives them, do I call it an inspiration now, or it gives them this backing that they need to just be the best at what they do?
There are classes of drugs, categories of drugs, and then what they probably are using, I'm sure, is marijuana. And marijuana is a stimulant. And a stimulant stimulates, as the name goes. So it is possible that they get more creative because it is stimulating a part of their brain. Granted, but have we thought of the long-term negative effect on you? Long-term negative effects. It causes psychosis. There is a direct link between marijuana use and psychosis. It may give you all of the inspiration you need, but on the long run, do you know what it's doing to your brain? Do you know what it's doing to your nervous system? Do you know what it's doing to your respiratory system? Drug use messes you up in all ways. You get the short-term effects. It makes you feel good. Everybody's laughing at what you're doing because you feel funny at the time. But what's it doing to your brain? Many times they call it skipping. Many times you see them skipping when they use drugs. They forget, they have pockets of memory loss because you now be trying to remember, what did I do? How did I get here? I know a girl that walked into her toilet and started shouting, somebody moved my toilet. Why did you move my toilet from here to there? What happened? And then when they called me, I was looking at them. But they say it gives her inspiration because she's a DJ. Fantastic. She does beautiful on the thing they use. She does beautiful as a DJ, but on the mixer, beautiful. But when you come to a point where you think someone literally moved your toilet, how much inspiration do you need for your toilet to move? Is it worth it? Cost benefit analysis. Is it worth it for you to make people have a lot of fun while they're dancing and DJ? You have inspiration, fantastic, and then you come home and you think your toilet has been moved. Wait.
This not my story.
So I like to ask, I know there is a God factor in everything, like
Absolutely.
you said, yes.
Absolutely.
But then what steps did you take to be able to get your balance back after you decided to leave after the 13 years? We stayed 13 years. So what did you do to gain balance? You went back to school, you did this. So what were the things you did?
First of all, I had to, without even knowing many of the things, I had to put a few parameters around myself, which was making sure that I stayed away from the places, the people, and the things that could have drawn me back to that kind of life. I had to put parameters. I went to all the pharmacies around my old house and told them, I said, even if I put a gun to your head, don't sell me codeine. I had to do all of that. I had to avoid a lot of people for a very long time. It took me years and years to actually do that. Avoid a lot of people. And I was doing all of this by myself because I didn't even know that that's what I needed to do. Now, going by the books, I was actually on the right path without knowing that that's what I was doing. But also because I got very busy with working with my pastor, it was easier to actually get distracted by my boredom, because many times boredom is also a factor. When they're really bored, they just think, well, what's there for me to do? Let me fill in this time with my substance use or with hanging with friends. And when you go and hang with those same friends, if you don't change your friends, chances are you'll slip back.
Yeah.
So I had the privilege of working in church. So it was easier to, in the fellowship. So it was easier to occupy my mind and my time with other things. So when you have gone through this for a period of time, it gets easier by the day, even though they say recovery is for life. Like now, when I have a cold, for instance, I have cough, I'm not going to go and buy Benylin with codeine. No, I won't. I won't, because the brain is such that it can actually start to remind you of times when you were using this for a particular cause, and before you know it, you're drawn back that way. So instead, I'll ask for alternatives. Is there something else that doesn't have this in it? Is there something else? Because I chose to. It's a choice. It can be difficult, but you can choose to walk the walk. So those were some of the things that I did. And then I started having to develop myself. I just told myself, you this is where the dreams and aspirations people had about you when you were younger. Why don't you, even if you're not going to go down that path of law again, why don't you now go through another path? But anything you do, grow, develop yourself, get better, grow yourself. So I started looking for courses that had anything to do with what I am doing. And then I'll just take a course here because I did emotional intelligence. I'm doing anger management at the moment, stuff like that. Just finding ways to work around my core or call, if that's what it is. Yes.
Okay, so in the process of you trying to reform yourself, were there times you thought of going back? You were pushed, or you had the let me try this thing one more time? Were there times like that?
Honestly, because my mind was more occupied, it was more difficult to think like that. But I know that I have been thrown into some sort of situations. Life throws you challenges every step of the way, and I've had challenges that have made me think I need to escape from this pain. And it's not physical pain. Physical pain, you find a way to sort your physical pain. Take, a painkiller or something. But when it's emotional pain, where do you run to? So I've had emotional pain that I've thought I need to escape from this pain right now. And the first thing that comes to my mind is, why don't you try this thing? And so when it happened to me last year, I went through something that really, threw me off a bit. And the first thing that came to my mind was, try this thing. But the fortunate part about this was I searched my bag for anything I could find to take to dull the ache that I was feeling in my soul at the time. Fortunately, there was none. Then I had to go on Facebook Live. I had this Facebook Live videos I was doing every Mondays. And then I had to go on Facebook. I checked the time, it was 4:15. I needed to go on Facebook at 5. And then I looked at my face and I realized that, okay, your face is not made up. You've been crying. It will be obvious to the world, and you need to be on Facebook because I have committed to this course of talking about drug use. So immediately I checked the time, it was 4:15. I just told myself, my friend, go and do your face and get behind the camera. So by the time I was done with the video, the craving had passed. This is why when we're teaching, when anybody is coming out of drug use, we teach you to maybe take a walk, distract yourself, drink water. That's the 5 Ds of, you delay and all of that. When you go through those processes, somehow the time passes and the craving passes. You mustn't always give in to the craving. If it happens now, you can't give in to it. Even in normal day life, if you want to drink a bottle of Coke, you've committed to say, I'm not going to drink this Coke again. Maybe a truck passes and then you see one boy selling one bottle of Coke that is sweating and the weather is so hot. If you actually just look away and your car drives past, you will not have that craving if you see the next car, the next person selling the Coke. The moment you take a bottle of water and drink, you will not have that same intensity of the craving by the time you see another person holding a bottle of Coke. So just delay that time that you have that craving, distract yourself very quickly, and it will pass. Always passes.
Okay.
Always.
This not my story.
What are those things you like about Abuja and the things you don't like about Abuja that if you were the president or the minister of FCT for a day, you will probably change?
Wow. Okay, first of all, I think we didn't envisage the crowd that was going to come to Abuja. So the roads, we have too many narrow roads. Too many narrow roads. I live in this axis, so I know how many times people would, because, okay, maybe you have 3 lanes on this side going this way and 3 lanes on the opposite side. Before you know it, because we are also used to getting home maybe in 10-15 minutes within Abuja when you have to go anywhere, everybody wants to beat traffic and get to where they're going. Before you know it, they block the whole road and then we now all sleep there. So they should just expand the roads a bit for us, better roads. Apart from that, I still like the serene environment. Abuja can still be actually very sane. Abuja is very sane. You can wake up, you have to be somewhere at 8, you can wake up at 7. Take a bath, make up, everything, and still get there at 8. So I really love that about Abuja, yes. But of course, population is growing, so if they can help us do something about that, yeah.
Okay, so would you, if you had the offer of staying outside Abuja, would you take it?
I'm not sure where it is I can stay right now.
A different city, not Abuja.
Not in Nigeria right now. I don't think so. I mean, my family still lives in Lagos. Every time I go to Lagos, I'm in a hurry to come back because I'm thinking I need to go back to my serene environment. So I'm not sure what other city I'd love to stay in. I'm not sure. I've lived in Kano. I've lived in Lagos. I went to school in Benin. I've been to Sokoto. I've been to quite a number of states. I've been to Ibadan, Abeokuta. In fact, at one point when I first got married, my husband was thinking that we're going to relocate to Abeokuta. As much as I was trying to be the good wife and just be submissive and relocate with him, I was already thinking about how I was going to cope. So Abuja is I'm not sure there's anywhere else I can stay right now. If push comes to shove and I have to, I'm not sure. Abuja is home for me.
It's like a major decision. On the final note, we would like you to tell us something, maybe like an advice on the use of drugs or to young people basically. So, yes.
Okay, I think I'm going to talk based on this inspiration part because there's so much we can actually say. But you see, I know that there are party drugs, there are study drugs, there are things that make you just, have the time of your life. You think you're having the time of your life. But trust me, from someone who's been there, you would regret this drug use. You would regret the time that you have spent wasting your life, your money, and your health away. Truth, get into something more productive. Do something that makes you really happy. It may not stimulate you as much as the drugs will, but you'll thank your future for it later.
Wow, so it's been an amazing time here with you, Tega. I want to say thank you for coming on the show and thank you for agreeing to talk to us about the use of drugs. I'm sure you've learned something because I have learned something actually. So people, we'll be right back. This is Abuja Waka with your girl Kid Prodigy. Stay connected.